All right, welcome back to another episode of the Rundown After Dark, your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. I almost forgot to hit the turn of the mic. I almost forgot to turn the mic on. But we're going to talk everything that's going on with the Snow White live adaptation movie. This is Throwback Thursday, so we're going to talk about the movies that are turning 20 and 30, 20 and 10 years old today, and we're going to also talk with you guys about all these topics as well. So like I said, this is going to be a more one topic. We still have it divided up into a few topics, but it's basically themed around one topic. I'm your host, Chris Fagan, and thank you guys for joining us live. It is me and the only 100% ride or die, true loyal woman in my life, Joy. Did we not readjust the camera? It seems like it's too high. Look right there where it's at. See how does it need to be readjusted? There we go. Well, yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Hey babe, how you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Pretty good. Is the mic working over there? Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're good. Guys, there was a question in the live chat, and I believe one of our channel members answered it. It was like the question was, what was it? What was the comment on there again? Let me see.
How do I become a member?
Let's see.
And gift memberships.
How do I become a membership? That was from Michael. Hey, from Michael Birchfield. Let me see if I can pull that up. I know this isn't the We Got Your Mail time of it. But good question. I mean, that's a good question to start the channel off. But yeah, there's on the main YouTube page, it is, there should be a join button for all of our members. But yeah, appreciate you for asking that question on how to become a member. So guys, for the After Dark shows, we have a perk for our members. And Peter Lane can contest to this, that we open up the channel for our channel members to, depending on which tier you're on, you can either call in live or video live. I believe, Peter, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you're on the For Me membership. So we'll have you call in live during the We Got Your Mail portion of the show. But yeah, that's how you become a channel member. On YouTube, it's by, you go to the main YouTube page and there's a join button. You become a member there. There's I think there's 3 tiers, if I'm not mistaken. For sure, there's a mature tier. There's a For Me tier. Speaking of For Me, I forgot to turn the sound bars on. I know you guys like to hear that stuff, so let me make sure that I got that up. There we go. There it is.
For me.
There you go. There's that tier right there. Maybe I should make an I don't like that tier or an I like that tier, now that those are our newest sounds.
I don't like that.
And
I like that.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. But yeah, that's how you become a channel member. It's on our homepage. And let me remind you guys that the show is going to be broken up into a couple of categories here. We're going to talk about trending topics. Today it's only themed around what's going on with the upcoming Snow White live adaptation movie. So the 3 topics, it's still going to be about that movie, but it's still divided up into 3 parts. Then we're going to talk about Throwback Thursdays. That's and then we're going to talk about no, that's it. That's all it's going to be a shorter episode today. So because there's so much stuff that we have to do. So we had plans to have it to be a full Rundown After Dark, but like I said, life gets in the way. Sometimes our panelists can't always make it, but that's okay. I'm here, Joy's here, so let's get into it. But before that, guys, you can always, if you can't become a channel member or things like that, you can always call us live on our well, you can call our hotline. Is that the best way to put it? Our voicemail, 281-406-1993. If you want to leave a message for us to discuss live on the show, you can do that. Sending super chats during the show, that's always welcome and appreciated. That really does help us out here. If you want to contribute to the channel, if you don't want to do a monthly membership and become a channel member, a super chat question always helps. So live during this discussion, if you want to super chat a question, that helps us out. If not, it's not mandatory. Just follow us on all of our socials, on Facebook, on Twitch, on Insta, on TikTok, on X, on Threads, or become a Patreon if you can. But if you do become a channel member, like I said, you can call in, and we're going to have our channel member call in a little bit later during the We Got Your Mail portion of the show. Besides that, if you can't catch the live show, you can always follow us on our podcast. But with that all out of the way, I don't know if you have it. I sent you that text. I mean, you got it. Oh, you already printed it out, babe. Okay. What's the first topic of the day, babe?
Up first, Gal Gadot recounts Evil Queen audition and teases Snow White live-action remake. From The Hollywood Reporter, the Wonder Woman actress will portray the Evil Queen in the upcoming live-action remake of Disney's First Princess. She stars opposite Rachel Zegler's Snow White. She had this to say during a GQ interview. It was the first time I had to kind of audition for a project in a while. They needed to make sure I can sing because this is a musical. So for a month, I was working on the song, and then I auditioned, and we filmed the song, and I got the part, and it was very exciting. It was so much to shoot because it's so different from anything I've ever done. It's so delicious and delightful, and I could really go big and theatrical.
I was surprised when I was reminded that Gal Gadot was the queen. It's good, from my opinion, because I'm so used to her playing like Wonder Woman, being a good guy, mostly the lead. I'm excited about her being a villain. This might be a new direction for her. I mean, play the villain, like go out. The only thing I'm worried about is that what she was talking about. Like, this might be a singing part. Like this, it's not necessary for. I don't remember the original Snow White. I know I've seen it before, but I don't remember the original Snow White, the 1937 animation. By the way, it was the very first full length, like motion picture length animation. I mean, there was animation before Snow White, but Snow White was the first animated movie. And that's when, I think that was also when they invented color, like Technicolor, that whole thing.
Oh, the Technicolor.
Yeah. It's like Snow White like broke all kinds of records, but and over there in 1937. But I don't remember the Queen having a singing part. I don't think she did in the cartoon, but I could see them if they want to create something.
If they're going to do it as a live-action musical, then I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like with other Disney movies.
No, really, in the cartoon version, Snow White sings some. The dwarfs sing, hi ho, hi ho. I don't remember there being a ton
I don't think there was. I don't think there was. So that was the only thing that I was worried about. Her. I mean, she said she auditioned, and I guess the audition went well because she got the part. I mean, so maybe there's a singing career for Gal Gadot that we don't know about. What do you think about her playing the Evil Queen besides my worries? Are you worried about anything?
I love her, and she kind of gives off a little bit like, what's her name?
What movie? Give me a movie.
Maleficent.
Maleficent. Wait. Damn. Now you got me. I'm seeing her face.
Angelina Jolie.
And Jolie. Yeah. Okay.
Because she's also very beautiful. So I mean, I totally.
As far as fitting the role, that's like perfect casting. Look, hey, here's the thing. That question, who is the fairest of them all? I'm sorry, I'm to be a stereotypical dude. It's Gal Gadot. I'm sorry. Like, in a lot of ways, I know the story goes that she was jealous because she was like Snow White was technically more beautiful than the Queen, but no offense to Rachel's Zegler, but I'm sorry. I'm like, anybody in that audience, like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of all? It's Gal Gadot. You why are you even worried about this? Well, whatever, but I don't know. That's how I feel about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing her play the queen. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to her playing a bad guy.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it'd be nice to see. It's nice when you see actors and actresses who can do all of it, not just a stereotypical, this is what I always get cast as.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think about this portion of the Snow White discussion. Gal Gadot as the evil queen. I'm looking forward to it, and we're monitoring the chat, so we'll talk about it on the We Got Your Mail portion of the show, and we'll get our thoughts on our channel member a little bit later when it's time for the We Got Your Mail portion. The cats are fighting. All right, let's move on to what's the next topic, man?
Rachel Zegler gets viral backlash as comments about Snow White remake resurface. This comes in from NBC News. The film is set for release next year, but Zegler, who stars as the title character, has been the subject of online discourse after several interview clips from last year emerged.
The whole, all the backlash and whatnot. If you guys want to get a lot of clicks, if you have your own YouTube channel, you want to get a lot of clicks, you can definitely talk about this. This reminds me of the Brie Larson situation where what she said in an interview received a lot of backlash. But the difference is this time where on Brie Larson's side, there was no real 100% way of they really was reaching to twist her words. When Brie Larson said that we should, especially when we're talking, because she was talking about Black Panther, we should have more inclusion. There should be more people from the media who represent what the Black Panther movie with the target audience. Like include more Black-owned media. She didn't say take away seats from mostly white media platforms. She said just add more for the Black one. But everybody was like, Brie Larson hates white people, and that was a stretch. But the what is he doing? The interviews that Rachel Zegler, who is going to be our new Snow White. I mean, when she was first cast, it was already like, oh, like she ain't Snow White enough. So it was already that. But when she started talking about how she hadn't seen the original in a while, and then criticizing the original for being, I mean, it was a story of its time. Back in the day, it was always the prince always saves the princess kind of a thing. And then she was going out of her way to talk about how this is an updated version of Snow White. But people took it as okay, I understand what you're saying, but you're bashing that movie at the same time. I mean, you can always you can be pro woman and pro this and pro that, but you don't have to bash. There's like people were coming to the original movie's defense saying like there's some people who do like the whole traditional story of it. I understand what you're saying, but you don't have to go out of your way to be that dismissive of the original. And I could see it. Where with Brie Larson, I was like, dude, you're just trying to be mad at her just to have a reason to be mad at her. But with this stuff with Zegler, I could see it. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I have it up here. Let me see if I can find it. I pulled up. There we go. Rachel Zegler. Let me see. Let's go. Our camera here. All right. Do I need to pull it up? Put it up on a big screen so you can see it too, babe? But here we go. I got it up here on the screen. I should just make this bigger. There we go, so you can see what I see. So this comes in from, what's this? NBC News. We have Rachel Zegler gets viral backlash as comments about Snow White remake resurfaces. Now, see, this was interviews that she said a while ago, but like Disney's live action remake of 1937 cartoon Snow White isn't scheduled for release until March, but its lead actress, Rachel Zegler, is already is at the heart of social media controversy over comments that she's made last year. Interview clips of Zegler from September have resurfaced on social media where people are criticizing her comments about the film, the title princess, and the Princess Charming character. In a soundbite that has gone viral, Zegler suggested scenes featuring her co-star Andrew Burnap, that's I guess who's playing Prince Charming, plays Prince Charming, who could be cut from the film. Okay, right there off the bat, I'm gonna admit that that's an odd thing to say. I'm like just on a mutual respect of your coworkers kind of situation. That's an odd thing to say. Like you could really, I know my coworker Andrew is right there working side by side with me, but we don't really need him. So I can tell like from what I've seen, the clips that I've seen in the like I said, if you want to make money or get a lot of views on TikTok and YouTube, you could just talk about this. From the clips that I've seen, the outrage, I'm not going to 100% say it's unwarranted backlash or outrage. Because in my opinion, these are kind of, I'm not going to say dumb, but not necessarily the most constructive thing to say about the movie that you're in. Especially about your own coworker. I mean, like, what was the point of saying that?
So,
imagine if he said that. She's not even necessary.
she's young, and a lot of the youth don't know how to eloquently word things in the way that they really are. They don't know how to put what the thought is in their mind to coming out the way they intend for it to come out. Frequently shouldn't generalize just because everyone's young, but a lot of youth, they struggle with being able to get their point across the way they intend for it to be. Also, when it comes to interviews, not that I've been a news person or whatever, but from things that we've seen, the interview could have been 2 hours long, and they cut it down into as far as her time, maybe not with that interview, but you're right. It could have been one interview out of 20 with 20 other outlets. My whole statement was 5 minutes long of me explaining my feelings, and they took that sentence and stuck it together, and it makes it sound like I don't even like that dude. Could have left him out of the whole movie.
Right.
And that was not how I said it.
Right.
They totally got it out of context of the actual full statement that I made, which we'll never know because we don't have that footage.
It's possible. Yeah, you could be right. Let me, I'll continue on. In a soundbite that has gone viral, Zegler suggested scenes featuring her I already read that part, could be cut out from it. In another soundbite that has become the center of discourse, Zegler described her version of Snow White as a leader who doesn't need a prince to save her. She also told an interviewer that she saw the original film only once before she was cast. Because I only saw the damn thing probably once as a child. I mean, I'm like, it's not. I mean, unless you're raised by a mom or a dad, or a mom and dad, or that is like Snow White, I love everything Snow White or everything this. I mean, I might have me myself. I'm 43 years old. I think I've only seen that movie once.
Well, I mean, most of the movies she's not incorrect in saying most of the movies of that time, or even into the 90s, like Little Mermaid, changed the ending a little bit so that it wasn't the prince doing all the work. Yeah. Movies back then were especially always the female is a woe is me.
And they adjusted it. They changed that ending.
Timid and dainty, and I can't do anything, and I'm just pretty. I'm just here to be looked at, and someone save me. So she's not wrong in saying that she hopes we're going to bring a new view to this, and we're going to change it around.
You know what I like how people were always talking about how her being asleep and Prince Charming's a creeper, kissing her without consent. I remember when that was going viral. I think that came up when this movie was announced. It was like, that movie is so cringe. That prince kissed that young girl, that 14-year-old or 16-year-old girl. He was a 50-year-old prince kissing that teenager without consent. cringe. It's like, okay, yeah. When you judge everything on today's standards, yeah, okay. But when you judge things when they were originally created, and back when the life expectancy of the average human being was like 30 years and stuff, yeah, I mean, like things were done a little different back in the day. But that's, in my opinion, it's about like today. A lot of movements and a lot of activists today are so, in my opinion, like, I mean, most of them are legit, but some people want to go viral because they're so desperate for a cause. Because I mean, what the civil rights movement ain't, whatnot. They want something that intense in their lives. So everybody's making everything an apocalyptic situation. So it's like in my opinion, everybody's is trying to make everything. Not to say that people's feelings on this movie being outdated isn't legit, but I can still see on the other side why people are upset. Like, dude, you're bashing on a movie that I liked or whatever.
For me personally, it doesn't need to be like kick the prince out. I'm gonna do all this by myself. Yeah. But more along the line, the Little Mermaid. I like the way the Little Mermaid did.
Like, the way they tweaked it. They tweaked it at the very end.
Make it more of a team effort.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but if this is a period piece. Would that have been? I mean, the way the Little Mermaid did it. I know not everybody might have saw it, but if you saw the live adaptation of Little Mermaid, the way they did that, I could have seen that ending even in the animation. That even if that movie was based on a true story, and cameras were taken back in time, I could see that the way they did it, I could see that ending being exactly how it unfolded. Well, and maybe they could come up with some. But with this story, I mean, I wouldn't be upset with if they go the traditional prince saves the princess route, or if they decide to tweak. We've already gotten that version with the animation, so there's no problem with tweaking it like the way the Little Mermaid did. I see what you're saying.
All of these interviews were way before, like.
Oh yeah, they're rehashing it. They're rehashing them.
Who knows what is actually in the. We don't know that they changed the whole movie around and she's the badass doing it. We don't know that. That's just her stating.
Didn't the girl from Twilight, what's her name? Didn't they do a Snow White movie with the Huntsman and stuff? I mean, that was technically an update. You know what? And maybe that's why this movie is getting so much backlash on it, because we've already seen before the term was overly used and criticized. We saw a quote unquote woke version of it.
Maleficent is the evil queen.
Yeah. But no, that was Maleficent. The Huntsman, and then was Charlize Theron was the
no,
queen.
But I'm just saying we've also had Maleficent, which was the same.
Yeah, where Disney. Yeah,
it was more focused on the evil queen.
And that was an example of when Disney took a lot of liberties of one of their live adaptations that people were against. That was one of the reasons why the Cinderella movie was pretty much a live adaptation, shot by shot, frame by frame, and that one was well received. And since then, Disney has decided, okay, you can take some liberties. So they've pretty much tried to stay as close to the original source as possible, with letting the directors, if they want to, take some liberties, but not taking the extreme liberties like Maleficent did, changing her whole entire. They've never gone, but in this situation, it from the way Rachel Zegler is describing it, it seems like where you're right, like they're going that Maleficent route, like they're taking a lot of huge liberties. And then on the next segment, we're going to talk about the fact that it's called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But as far as Rachel Zegler's comments and stuff, I mean, it's. Okay, when I end off, this is what I'm gonna say. Like I said, I can see where the outrage is coming from more than I can see it from the Brie Larson example. I can understand it a little bit more. But one person on TikTok, and I really wish I would have remembered to save their name so I can give them credit. Really honed it perfectly. Rachel Zegler didn't write this movie. She's not even directing it. She's the actress. So whatever the writer wrote and what the director is telling her to do is what's being done. But Rachel Zegler is the one getting all the heat on a movie she did not write. And when I was reminded of that, I was like, yeah, okay. Calm the fuck down.
She's just telling you
what's pretty much what you to expect.
Or how she felt about all the stuff they filmed
based on the script that she read and the scenes that she's filming. That's what we're so I can understand being mad, but this is a shoot the messenger situation. And all of y'all's anger online, where y'all are throwing her under the bus, the way y'all did, the same people did to Brie Larson, is misguided. She's not the writer. She's not the director. She's the actress. And unless she decides like she's going to be like, I don't agree with this. This is taking too many liberties out of the 1937 version. I quit. She could do that.
And they'll just find
they'll find another actress to do the damn thing. So yeah. And the second I was reminded of that, I was like, yeah, dude, like everybody. So like I said, I understand the outrage on it, but this outrage should be focused on the writer and more than the writer, the director. Because even if a movie is written a certain way, the director can do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's their.
After a while, I just say.
Cum si, cum sa.
I wash my hands and say I'm gonna watch it for myself.
Yeah.
Because it does not matter what they do. You will not make everyone happy. Period. Point blank.
Abraham Lincoln said it.
Nothing that you're going to put out that all the people are going to go, wow, that's the best thing, or that's the great. There's
like
always going to be something that people are going to still be like. They could have done it 100% shot for shot, and you would have still had the camp of people that was like,
why do you have to make it so? Why is it so sexist?
Yeah, this is old school. Why didn't we update this? This is not.
It's so cringe
anymore.
that 30-year-old dude kissed that without consent. That's that child.
This is not the way things are. Why didn't we, use other actresses? Why didn't people are still?
And we're gonna get into that in a
mad,
second. Yeah.
Regardless.
Oh yeah, like Abraham Lincoln said it best. You can make you can make some of the people happy all the time, or all the people happy some of the time, but you cannot make all the people happy all the time. And if you try, you're gonna drive yourself crazy trying. So don't try. Do not try. Well, okay. Well, I know you guys have a lot to say on those subjects, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's get into the last. Well, one of the next topic, babe. What's the next one that we got going on here?
Dylan Postal, I'm assuming. WWE's Hornswoggle shares thoughts on reported character changes in Disney's Snow White remake and how they impact stars like him. On a post by Cinema Blend, Dylan Postal was invited to discuss his views on a recent episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored. During the discussion, he provided a counterpoint to those who feel that director Mark Webb's modern spin on the first Disney animated film is a step in the right direction. Here's why Mr. Postal disagrees with that viewpoint. There are actors, dwarf actors, that live that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away. And it's taken away because of a quote-unquote progression and all that. It's not right, because these are roles made for actors of my stature, roles that aren't ever really given. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or George Clooney roles, because that's not for me. These dwarf roles are for people of my stature, and now it's taken away. I don't feel that's right, and not only that, but now think of the additional stunt actors or body doubles or that. Now you're talking multiple actors of my stature that don't get these major roles. And why? What's the reasoning? Because we're supposed to be progressive and we're supposed to just not view them as that?
I don't watch Piers Morgan and whatnot, but I remember catching this interview. And I remember, because like Piers Morgan is more of a right wing type of dude, and I knew exactly what he was doing. And he had this actor Dylan Postal, who I know from WWE. He's a WWE superstar, and his character name was Hornswoggle. That's my boy. I love Hornswoggle. And he was fighting on the argument of little people actors, the limited roles that they're getting. So if the Snow White movie is not going to have dwarfs in the movie, then when the movie was announced, I mean, this would be, I'm pretty sure that actors that have dwarfism were thinking, hey, you know what, this, I mean when the maybe the same from other movies, the Willy Wonka one, right? Because they used that, they had that for those roles for the Oompa Loompas, and they think, okay, the limited roles that we're getting, and I can't speak for them, but I'm assuming this is what I would assume that this is what a lot of them would say, or some of them would say. The limited roles that we're getting, we know for sure we have a shot of getting something, in these types of movies, because based on what how they've been cast in the past, in plays and things like that. But then when Peter Dinklage comes out, a little person actor who is one of the in my opinion, like the only actor who has dwarfism, who is getting roles that were like, I don't care if I wrote this movie or I'm directing this movie and I had a 6'5" actor in mind. That's Peter Dinklage. You got it. Like, he's one of the only or the only a little person actor who's got that much pull. And when I saw Piers Morgan, I knew exactly what he was doing. He had Dylan on, and then he had a leftist dude who was against the dwarf idea of Snow White, like, because he thought it was insulting, to little people, insulting to little people. And I'm like, the second I saw this clip on TikTok, the second this clip started, I'm like I don't know, dude, I don't. Extreme leftist dude. We might agree 90% of the time, but dude, you are. He's one of those examples of, you went so far left, you fell off the damn cliff. Like, dude, you don't see exactly what you're falling for. You're telling a little person actor to his face that you're more offended than he, and he fell right for the trap. I laughed my ass off, because I love that when that happens on any side, whether it's on the right or the left. Like, how are you going to tell me as a non-black person how to be like that? You're more offended than me if something happens racistly against me as a black person. How are you going to tell me how to feel? And that's exactly what he did. He told Dylan to his face that it's offensive to little people, and Dylan was like, "I am a little person. How you gonna be more offended than me? What the hell?" And then that dude you could see him imploding from within. Did I show you that clip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not obviously. I mean, I'm not a little person either. I can just
but for me, no.
Try to think that. Yes, I can see both sides. Mm-hmm. I can see where Peter Dinklage was coming from, saying we should all get the same opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not taking roles.
If I appear good as a good actor or actress, you should just look at that only, not my height. So I get that. Yeah. But I also get where Dylan's coming from and saying, but we haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. And so I know, he's saying, like, I know people that are like me that are like, I'll take anything. We just want to work. We want to work. And you just took it away. So I can see both sides.
Well, the activist dude was like, it's insulting to call people dwarves and this and that and the other. And Dylan was like, all right, so what do you, well then what would you call it then? And the guy was like, well, I don't want to go there and stuff. Well, like, what would you call it? And he was like, I'm a dwarf. Like, he said, I'm a dwarf. Like, it was. Like, it was basically like, I'm like the equivalent in my opinion would be like the I don't know, like on a black subject, like, how you gonna tell me how I should feel as a black man when you're not a black man? Like how I feel. Like, this dude was so trying to like fight a cause that he wasn't even in, and he didn't realize that was why he was brought on the show to make himself look stupid, and he 100% with the, like, I'm sorry, a lot of smugness agreed to go on the show and let Dylan Postal tear his ass up. Because it's like, dude, how are you going to be offended for little people as a non-little people person? How are you going to be more offended than me, basically?
And
it was crazy.
Again, my same sentiment. I feel like even if they had used little people as these characters, you still would have had a camp of people that would have been like, really, we couldn't do better than this.
But the majority of them would have been what? Non people from with living with dwarfism. It would have been average height people trying to be more offended for people with dwarfism than, I mean, that's exactly what Dylan was trying to tell them. Like, dude, there are plenty of actors who are little people who would it's hard for us to get. We're not all Peter Dinklage, and I'll go. Let me click
and
on.
Some are probably like, we just want that chance
to
prove ourselves, like he did.
Yeah, like he did.
Look what I can do.
I wish there was 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 little people actors who have the same power as Peter Dinklage. But just like back in the day where there was a joke in the black community where there was only going to be one black comedian superstar that's making it in Hollywood at a time. First it was Eddie Murphy, and then when Eddie Murphy's time was done, then it was Martin Lawrence, and when Martin Lawrence's time was done, it was Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, then after that, then it was Kevin Hart, and then for some weird reason, Kevin Hart just never let go of the title, and it's been Kevin Hart for the past 50 damn years. But it used to be only one major black person at a time. Now it seems like Peter Dinklage is going to be the only person, and that's it. And that's probably, in my opinion, I bet that's how a lot of them feel. Like, but if there was multiple, if there was other, I mean, there's been plenty of actors who are little people who have been in major roles and been mega famous, but they've never done it to the level that Peter Dinklage will. And for all we know, it'll be a long time before there's 2 or 3, 4 or more. It should be like I said, it should be 100. But that have that equal type of power. For all we know, it'll only be Peter Dinklage, and it'll be Peter Dinklage to the end of time, and that'll be it. For all we know, and that's pretty much what he was saying. Like we said, we're not all Peter Dinklage, and we don't have all that power. Now, you already read his quote, but he continued on the Muppets Most Wanted alum has been discussing Snow White's lack of dwarf actors for some time now. Actor Peter Dinklage shared thoughts on Disney's fucking backwards story and feeling that continuing the Seven Dwarfs narratives would be demeaning. When Dylan Postal first responded to those remarks, he stated the main point that he's reiterating in the most recent interview, namely that those traditional supporting roles are a vital source of work for actors with dwarfism, and that to rewrite them is to remove a long expected source of work for performers such as him. You hear a lot of people saying a lot of BS crap like, what if Black Panther was cast by Tom Hanks and all that stuff? And this is, in a way, that experience, because like a lot of people, because it's confusing. People are always now. People are fighting for representation. If the character is Jewish, get a Jewish actor. If the character is trans, trans actors haven't been getting a lot of opportunities. Let a trans actor. If it's for a black person, let a black actor. If it's for a Hispanic person, let a Hispanic person. But if it was written for a little person, why are you getting? Or what's his name? That was in that trailer for Dune for Wonka. Why are you getting Hugh Grant when you could have had what's his name, Dylan or whatever? I'm sure he'd have did it. But I mean, I understand. I understand Hugh Grant is Hugh Grant, but say you can't have your cake and eat it too. There's a group of people fighting for representation, but like I said, that guy that Pierce Morgan had on his show was like, he pretty much told him, like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're always fighting for representation, but yet you want to say that dwarfism is insulting. And you're speaking for people who live with dwarfism, and you're not one of these people. And this dude was like, he didn't realize the trap that was set on his ass. He was so stupid. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know your name, but you were dumb. Pierce Morgan and Dylan set your ass up, and you went willingly in that trap like a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. But you know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, that happens a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like, the person is what could be white as snow. Like, speaking about Wakanda, let me tell you about the black community. Like, dude, you don't know shit about the black community. Like that'd be like me trying to represent all of the Asian community or the Hispanic community. That's not my community. Like, what the? It was ridiculous. But I'm sure you guys got a lot to say about that. We'll get to your comments on that. But anything else besides that? The Peter Dinklage thing or that? Yeah, that's our thoughts. Let us know what you guys think about that, and we'll move on to the next topic. It is Thursday, guys. As you guys know, on Thursdays we like to throw it back. We have to go way back in time. On this day, around this time, about 10 years ago and 20 years ago, we had some movie releases. So let me give a shout out to them. So Throwback Thursday, here we have that turning 10 years old today, The Butler, the movie about the black butler who worked at the White House for many decades and had his term.
Never watched.
I
never watched.
I watched. It was a great movie. I saw it, and I believe it was right. I'll talk about it in a second. Also turning 10, Kick-Ass 2. Kick-Ass Part 2 turns 10 years old today. And on this day, 20 years ago, Uptown Girl, starring
Miss Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy, there you go. And that's one of the Fannings, right? That's not Dakota Fanning. That's which Fanning is that? I forgot which Fanning that is.
I think it is.
Is that Dakota?
Yes.
That's Dakota Fanning? Okay. Brittany Murphy.
Rest in peace.
Which one of these stand out? I guess I already know the answer to it. Which one of these stands out to you the most?
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass 2. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought you were gonna say
No, Kick-Ass 2.
You like that one? That's your favorite.
Kick-Ass.
You like the Kick-Ass movies? That was one with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was saying that he didn't want to advertise that movie that much because he was against violence. He wasn't against taking the money, the paycheck, and doing the movie, but he was against marketing it. It was weird. But
you got a super chat.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, I'll get to it and say I appreciate it. I'll during the We Got Your Mail portion of it. We're about to get there soon. But The Butler, was it Forrest Whitaker? Yeah, oh yeah. I think and Oprah was in that as well. And the first roadie on Iron Man. What's his name from Empire? Not Don Cheadle, but
yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, damn it. I think he was in there. Anyway. What stood out to me the most about The Butler was he was working at the White House all the way. He had a lot of influence on a lot of the press. Even though he's a black man, that was pretty much his job was to be seen and not heard. He had so much respect close to the end of his service, his term as the butler for the presidents. He was invited to dinner. Him and his wife was invited to dinner to sit with Ronald Reagan, and then I think he was invited back by Obama. Gave him a real even bigger honor, inviting him back to the White House. I remember the end of the movie when the Obamas invited him to come to the White House, and the current butler that was there was trying to tell him where to go. Like, oh, okay, if you the president is down the hall, and he was like, I know where the damn room is. Like, that was the funniest part of the movie. He was like, well, I worked here I've been working here since before you were born. I know what a damn room is. It was the funniest thing, but I love that movie. That was a great movie. All three of these movies I remember seeing. I saw Uptown Girl once. I don't remember it that much, but I remember enjoying it. That was a pretty cute movie. But yeah, Kick-Ass as well. That was a great one. Turning 10 and 20 years old, The Butler, Kick-Ass 2, and Uptown Girls. All right. With that all done, now let's get into the live chat portion of it. Oh no! Before that, you know what? Let me. You know what?
I think Peter Lane wants to talk to you.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry. I'm up here jibber jabbing.
So he's got stuff
the whole
to say.
time I was supposed to. I'm pulling it up right now. Let me get on the phone with. I got it. I'm sorry. I was supposed to have snuck and turned this thing on while you were talking, but I forgot to do it because I was so caught in the moment.
I may have to leave while y'all were talking.
Okay, no, that's all good.
We have the car lockout situation.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Go ahead, baby. I got it from here. If you need to step out now, it's fine with me, and I'll take care of it. All right, Peter, I'm logging in right now. There we go. Sorry about that. If you're in there right now, I'm pulling it up right now. But while that's pulling up, let me start off with some of the live. Let's see if I got it right here. If I can pull it up here. Throwback Thursday. Yeah, there we go. Some of the live chats here. Let me start off from the top. Let's see. We got Jesus in the house. What's going on, brother? Hi, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. What's up, Jesus? What's going on, brother? Update term. Oh, Zoom has to update my. Do I need? Oh, there we go. I got it on. Let me see if I can get you on here. We got. Are you there? Let's see. Yep. There. Nope. Where are you? Microphone. Boom. There we go. All right, so I should be able to hear you. Let me see if I. All right, I'm in the room. Let me see if. So if you still have that link, Peter, I'm on there. So I'm monitoring it. I'm in Zoom. So Peter, if you're there, accept the invite. I'm in there right now. So if you click on it right now, I'm there now. I don't know if you're there. I'll hit up. Okay, I see. Okay, I saw your chat come up. Okay, I saw you. Let's see. I hope everyone's doing well. What's going on, Jesus? Jesus continues on and said, let me click on this. There we go. Jesus, because it says it's a shame because little people need jobs and taking away from them this movie will bomb bad. They need to fix it. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's already set in motion based on the interviews that Rachel has been in. But like I said, she's not the writer. She's not the director. So I think she's the messenger, and a lot of people are bombing on her for the wrong thing. I think she knows better now. Like, yeah, you know what? I should have just kept that to myself. But yeah, I honestly feel like it will affect the numbers because I feel like this time it's getting through to some people. Michael Birchfield says, hello, friends in the chat. I always look forward to those hello, friends in the chat shout outs. Peter Lang comes in, says, hit the join button, answering that question that Michael had in the chat. I can't wait for the live chat. I have a ton to say about Snow White. Come on, man. I got it up. So I think you said that you're coming, so I'm waiting for you. I've got it up right now, so I'm ready when you're ready. Let's see. I can't wait to the live chat. Okay, I've already read that. There you go. Michael says Gal can sing. Imagine. I've never heard her sing, so I hope so. Let me see if I got this. I got this right. All right, I hit the button there for you, Peter. Can you hear me? Let me see if I got this done right.
Hello.
There you go. I can hear you. Hopefully we can hear you in the. All right, say something else for me.
Something else for me.
There you go. All right. What you said? You got a lot to say. What do you got to say on the? Are you talking about the Snow White situation?
Yeah.
What we got?
All right. But what I want to say is Peter Dinklage is stupid. Now, I'm going to explain why. You see, the thing is, this dude's entire premise is that the idea that the portrayal of dwarves in media is offensive to dwarfish people and it's stereotyping. And I'm trying to explain to this dude that dwarves in fantasy aren't humans. They're an entire other species. Every fantasy work, Lord of the Rings, they're dwarves and then they're humans. Snow White, they're dwarves and then they're humans. And if you so dwarves have their own characteristics. They're good with magic. They dig. Peter Dinklage was so it's not stereotyping people with dwarfism at all. It's just making a movie about a race of people. You know what it's basically? It's basically like saying, okay, you know what? We can't have movies with leprechauns anymore because that's offensive. We can't have movies with munchkins anymore because, or fairies or pixies or anyone diminutive. The whole thing is because I'm just saying.
Let's cut out. Wait. All right, hold on. Your mic. I don't know if it's happening on mine or your, but the mic is cutting out. Say it again.
So there's no real point to what you, because it's not stereotyping anyone. It's basically just we're making a movie about fantasy creatures.
Yeah, I understand what you mean by that, but on like if on Peter. Okay, so to advocate a little bit for Peter Dinklage on his end of it, but. I mean, being a man that's grown up with it all his life, and I'm pretty sure that he would know better than any of us would know because he's living with it every day for his entire life. Where these things, I mean, we got to think about where these creatures and these. And I know when with what you're talking about, where they're not looked at as things to make fun of and stuff like that. But when elves or these gnomes or whatever creatures were invented, for all we know, they were invented with the inspiration of like little people, at the time when they were first invented.
Okay,
and we don't know what a lot of the snickering and the laughing and the poking the fun of throughout the years and the centuries or whatever that they've gone to, like the source of it. I know you can, in a book you can go, well, there are these magical creatures and this and that and the other, but that doesn't still take away from the fact that the comparisons and where it stemmed from, because little people weren't always treated with respect. Like looking at Game of Thrones, like on that subject, even within Game of Thrones, he was treated like he had to save, he had to go through hell before he was even halfway respected and whatnot. Imagine how little people were treated, back then.
Right, so the thing about that is in Game of Thrones, that wasn't just because he was little. Because in Game of Thrones, most people in Game of Thrones had to go through hell before anyone respected them. Jon Snow spent until Jon Snow went across the wall and started hanging out with the wildlings. He was bastard to everyone. In fact, the reason he had to go over the walls because his mother couldn't stand the sight of him. Remember?
Yeah. Wait, but imagine if. Imagine if Jon Snow was a little person then. On top of being a bastard, if he was also a little person.
Okay, here's the thing. Tyrion Lannister as a little person, even though his whole family hated him, this dude had servants. He went to brothels all the time. He had he had nice breakfast and whatnot.
Exactly, and that's my point. He was the one thing that he had going for him was that he was born to a powerful, rich family. So you couldn't feel he still had power to wield. but that's why I said. But imagine if Jon Snow was a little person. You're a bastard. You're this and that and the other, and you're a little person. Oh, dude, you're in the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, but my thing
Peter Dinklage's character was not on the bottom of the totem pole because of the fact that he was a Lannister.
But my thing here is, what's the stereotype?
What do you mean?
Okay, if we were okay, like take the Jungle Book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you watch the Jungle Book and you see the whole part with the monkeys, and then black people get offended, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason black people get offended is not because there's a bunch of monkeys right there. It's because those monkeys specifically sound like jazz artists from the 1950s. They
right. I got a better example for you from Dumbo. Those damn crows. But it's been universally agreed that those were offensive black exploitation stereotypical characters. Oh, I see a dragonfly. Yeah, I mean, like they can deny it all they want to, but it's like in corporate America. How have you ever heard that saying that it's in sexual harassment? It's not what you meant; it's how the other person takes it. You got to you got to validate other people's reactions to it.
But my thing is with the monkeys and with the crows, those are stereotypes of black people, right? We have stereotypical behaviors that we assign to black people. What are the stereotypes with the seven dwarves?
What do you mean? I mean where would
okay, so.
I believe that it's the fact that we have going through years of like civil rights movements and things like that. Even people who aren't black have been able to learn and to be able to empathize with certain movements. I think that the dwarfism thing is something that a lot of people have yet, and that's probably what Dallin is. What was his name? I know him as
Peter
Hornswoggle.
Dinklage.
Well, no, I'm talking about the WWE star. What he was probably saying. Right. Like, I mean, it's like we're gonna be able to empathize with black people or Hispanic people and Asian people and things like that. But I'm pretty sure. But it's got to be even harder for people of all races to empathize, because dwarfism is such a small community.
But what I'm saying is the points I'm trying to make is that dwarves in fantasy have nothing to do with dwarfism.
But it's hard to say that, because where did they get the idea from? Unless you can go back in time and say, hey, when you invented elves, what inspired you to create elves? I mean, it could have been little people from that time that inspired those things.
Let me point out what I'm talking about, right? Because I said when we were talking about the monkeys and the crows, you can point to specific things that are stereotypes of black people. But if you look at the dwarves from Snow White and pretty much any other media, the characteristics of the dwarves are they mine, they're good with magic, they fight wars very well, they like battle, and they live on mountain.
Yeah, I'm doing devil's advocate here. But just because
what I'm saying is, how are those things stereotypes of people with dwarfism?
Where the stereotype that all black people have big dicks come from?
What I'm saying is that's a stereotype.
But is it? You see what I'm saying? Is it true? Or so the black people with small dicks having to live up to that stereotype?
No. What I'm saying is, what you're missing is when you say that that's a stereotype of a black person. If I make a character that's black and I give him a big dick, that's a stereotype. But what I'm saying is, there are no stereotypes of little. You don't see Peter Dinklage and go, oh, do you live in a mine somewhere? Do you live in a cave? You don't see Peter Dinklage and go, oh, you have diamonds in your house somewhere. or you know how to do magic.
No, dude, I would argue against that because you would have to ask Peter Dinklage that. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we can bring any person in the world that's living with dwarfism, and they can tell you all the times where people have said that to them. You just don't know. You're not living with it, so you're not able to tell them that they're not hearing.
I'm pretty sure.
You can be pretty sure, but we don't know 100%.
I'm fairly certain no one has walked up to Peter Dinklage and go, "Hey, can you do magic?" But
that was the point of what I was saying earlier, because that's Peter. Peter Dinklage has risen to, but there has. I'm playing both sides of it. There has to be a reason.
And here's the other thing. He clearly didn't watch the movie.
The movie hasn't been released yet.
No. I mean the 1939 one.
Oh, we don't know that. I mean, we're getting into his head. I can't tell him that he. No.
I can tell you definitively that he didn't watch that movie because I heard what he said. What he said was that the dwarves in that movie all live in a cave, which is inaccurate. Very inaccurate.
Snow White. From what I remember correctly, Snow White is based on a fairy tale, right? Disney did not invent Snow White.
No, but in the original story.
So watching the movie does not mean that Peter Dinklage does not know about the story.
Okay, here's the thing. What I mean? Here's the thing. It's okay, but my point is, in the original story and in the movie, the dwarves live in a house. It's a very important part of the story.
Right.
The dwarves have a cottage in every version of the story.
Okay.
They work in a mine. They don't live in a cave. They have a house and they work in a mine. It's not an incidental part of the story. It's very important because Snow White has to go to the cottage, and that's where she's hiding out from her mother who wants to kill her.
Okay.
They spend 2/3 of the movie in a cottage.
Right.
Where the dwarf. Okay, and this is another thing. Why I get a look, because the dwarves in the movie, right? If you look at their cottage, right, they have a very intricately decorated pipe organ that they built from the ground up out of wood. These are miners, very sophisticated craftsmen.
Yeah.
Who live in the house. There's no negative stereotype here.
I mean, but
that's
coming from a person who's not living with this on the day to day. That me and you are not able to tell Peter Dinklage or any or only to. I'm not going to invalidate what Peter Dinklage was saying just because Hornswoggle is saying something that I kind of agree with. It doesn't invalidate what Peter Dinklage has gone through.
And what Hornswoggle is saying is actually very important, because what Peter Dinklage is doing is, I'm Peter Dinklage. I've gotten so popular and so famous from Game of Thrones
that I can now pick whatever roles that I want, and I don't have to do those roles anymore.
He can get any role in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a dwarf role for him anymore.
Yeah,
they can.
Do you not believe that Peter Dinklage, the reason why he's saying that is because when his career started, or when he began his journey, that those were the only roles that he was offered?
No, I believe the reason why he's saying that is because it's very, very popular now to be fighting some cause. If you're a woman, it's very popular to be feminist. If you're black, it's very popular to be pro-black. And he needs something to be arguing against, because that's the only way this makes sense.
That's just us speaking for him. I mean, I can, like I said, even though I agree with Hornswoggle with what he was saying, because he was speaking for the community, I'm not going to discount and discredit. I'm not going to say that Peter Dinklage didn't go through shit. I mean, now we're getting to territory that you might like. Right now, it sounds like you're demeaning or belittling anything that he might have gone through.
I'm not belittling what he went through because I'm absolutely sure he did go through a bunch of shit. What I'm saying is this outrage that he's having about this movie demonstrably doesn't make sense.
But it doesn't. It might not make sense to you, but you don't know that if the day before this movie was announced that he was that somebody could have we don't know that he was called Dopey or Doc all through high school. We don't know that. That might be his history. I've been called a nigga before, and just because my other white friend hasn't said it to me doesn't mean that if somebody else didn't say that I wouldn't have a valid reason to be mad.
Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if a black actor came to you and came out and they said they didn't like the Princess and the Frog because the Princess and the Frog
and if they had reasons why they didn't like it, yeah, and their reason was the Princess and the Frog had a negative portrayal of black men. Yeah.
Right? You watch the movie and you go, yeah, no, that's not true.
I could definitively say as a person, a part of that community, why if I did agree with them, I would tell them why I agreed. If I didn't agree with them, why I didn't agree. But my experience as a black man might be different from another a black person's experiences. So Peter Dinklage, since I'm not a dwarf, I can't tell Peter Dinklage that what he's saying is 100% wrong because he probably has a valid reason of why he's saying it. What I agree with Hornswoggle on it is what Hornswoggle said that I 100% agree with, because I would say this to any black person in a similar situation. You do not speak for the whole community. That's what I 100% agree with. With Hornswoggle on.
Yeah, and this is true. But the thing is, while he's doing this, what Peter Dinklage is doing is sabotaging the movie for anyone who doesn't have his level of prestige.
Right, and it's exactly what I was saying to Joy, because for all we know, Peter Dinklage might be the only little person that have that level of I don't know if you watch wrestling, but Batista, Roman Reigns, and them, they might get very popular in the WWE, but there might not ever be another Rock. You know what I'm saying? So
this is true.
Batista.
So the thing about it is, if Peter Dinklage gets his way, that's every one of those there's 7 dwarves, right?
Yeah.
Each one of them has to have like a body double for most of the thing. So that's at the very least 14 roles that Peter Dinklage is arbitrarily getting rid of because he believes that the dwarves and the 7 dwarves
exactly. Now, on that part of it, I agree with you on. Like I said, we're not little people, but as far as like in relationship, I can agree with that. What Dylan said, speaking for the whole community, I 100% agree with that. Peter should have been he was talking about himself, but at the same time he was throwing everybody else under the bus. Look, I made it to this level, but because for whatever reason, by hook or by crook or by legitimate reasons or whatever the situation was, you've made it to that level. But that doesn't mean that the world is going to accept Hornswoggle at that level or the guy who was in the Austin Powers movies at that level. So we might not ever get another little person with that much power.
Right. You know what else is annoying for me? You know what else is really annoying for me? Everyone else.
Oh, hold on. You said it.
For me.
Go on.
Oh, I already pushed it. I don't know if you heard it, but I already did it. Go ahead.
Everyone else who's been in a dwarf role, right? All the dwarves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All the dwarves in The Hobbit and whatnot. All of those people, right? Who are in movies, who have gotten fame, who are all proud of their roles, proud of the contributions they made to the movie. There's a whole cadre of little people that made the Hobbit movies happen.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be Hobbit movies without them. They're the backbone of that movie.
Right.
All those people were just saying the roles they're doing, what they're doing is making fun of little people and diminishing little people in front of the. Basically, they're doing, but we're just diminishing all of their roles, saying that what we're doing is offensive, and I'm like,
Yeah, what
It's
what
just-
what Dinklage was saying, he was speaking for himself, and he should have just kept it for to himself. And I think Hornswoggle was right that it was so broad that the way the fire that Dinklage was spitting on that interview or his statement, I think it did probably get into the executives' heads and go, oh well, maybe we shouldn't do this because Peter Dinklage is upset. And now it's like, well now, yeah. So yeah, I agree, man. I on that part of it, yeah. Peter does not speak. But you know what this reminds me of, and before I let you go, because I gotta continue with the other chats that came in. But this reminds me of an episode of Seinfeld where when Kramer had I don't know the actor's name, but he had a recurring actor on that show who was a little person. And they were acting and doing gigs, and it was a whole thing. I don't know if you watched Seinfeld, but it was a whole thing about that actor putting lifts in his shoes because he was trying to.
Oh yeah, I remember he was lifting
remember
to appear taller.
Yeah, remember that speech that woman, that the little person, that woman that was on that episode. I've seen her in a bunch of movies. I remember that speech that she gave him, like all these years of us barely getting scraping and barely getting cast in anything, and how hard it is for us to get any type of roles and stuff. And you go off, and that's what it reminded me of. It made me think of that scene. What Peter Dinklage is saying. It's like, it's great that you are one of the exceptions and that you've reached this level, but you know for a fact that you're literally like one out of a million, and you don't. And as good as your intentions are, Peter, you're not gonna be able to lift up the voices of the representation for everybody else in the community.
All right.
So yeah, absolutely.
Let me just insert one more thing real quick before I roll, because you see me getting all. Because the reason I get all excited about this is because when people hear this, what happens to the movie is the executives go, okay, we have to change the movie. It's the same thing with the Disney princesses.
Yeah,
we've had this entirely false narrative, entirely false, that every Disney princess for the longest time has just been sitting down, woe is me, not doing anything, just waiting for some prince to save them. That's not what happens in any of the Disney movies.
right.
That never happened.
Well, literally, Sleeping Beauty, yeah, she was asleep that whole time.
No. What happens in every movie is the princesses in the movies are exactly as active.
No, I'm talking about. I mean, at the end. I mean, when it was time for the savior at the end.
Okay.
She was asleep.
Let me just say this real quick, because I don't want to keep you guys all night. Every Disney princess is exactly as active as the time period allows her to be.
Right.
Snow White.
True.
Snow White, when she was in her movie, as soon as she got to the house, right? 1939. You know what role women have? Mothers. As soon as she got into the house, she took over all of the dwarves. She told them, "You're not having dinner until you clean up. You're going to straighten out this house. You're going to do." And she's 14. They're grown men. But because she's a princess and because she's a girl and because in 1939 women's roles as mother, she gets to command them as long as it's household.
Are you implying that there might be some dominatrix kind of a thing happening in the modern?
No. What I'm implying is that these women haven't been passive wallflowers this whole time. Cinderella. Go do me a favor. Go watch Cinderella. Watch the whole movie. You will see not only is she not a wallflower, she has all sort of sarcasm and sass under her breath the entire movie. Mm-hmm. When all the time her sisters are doing her like her sisters are doing the recital in the other room, and they're just singing terribly. She's just in the other room smirking at them under her breath.
Yeah, I don't.
She,
Yeah, I haven't. I don't remember the cartoon that well, and I didn't watch the live action one yet. So
because here's the thing, Cinderella is exactly as active as her situation allows her to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is the most feminist movie Disney has ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't have to, I'm just going to go through. The movie starts with a literal patriarch lining up all his daughters to sing his praises and be beautiful in one place.
And she was going against the grain to do her own thing. Yeah.
And where was Ariel? Out having an adventure like a Disney prince would. She saves her male counterpart from a shark, then she saves the prince's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's two people.
Yeah.
And what does every feminist say about Little Mermaid? Oh, I'm never going to show that movie to my daughter because she's so
I remember. Yeah, I remember we covered that singer said that. I forgot her name, but yeah.
Here's the thing. I've never heard a feminist look at Aladdin and go, I'm not going to let my son watch that movie because he literally gave up all the power in the known universe to impress a girl, maybe. Aladdin could have wished, hey, you know all those hungry children in Agrabah that haven't eaten for weeks? Yeah, I wish they had food. Hey, you know what?
Oh my God, I never thought of that.
I wish I had a house. You know what? I wish I could afford pockets.
I wish there were no starving street rats in Agrabah. Oh my God.
I could have wished for eternal life. I could have wished for an end to all the diseases.
Why, oh man? Why you going? No, I usually don't say that, but you're ruining my childhood. Now I'm thinking that Aladdin fucked up one of those wishes.
An end to poverty, anything. What does he want to do? I wanna be a prince so I can impress a girl.
So I can smash.
Okay, and here's the thing. You see remember the Prince Ali secrets?
Uh-huh.
Prince Ali, fabulous, right? No princess in the history of Disney has ever had to do that. No princess has had to parade herself and go, please pick me, Prince. I'm rich and beautiful.
Well, that's different because they were already the princesses. He wasn't a prince. He was trying to impress a princess.
Yeah,
and every other Disney movie was from the focus of the world. This Aladdin was one of the only ones where it was from the outside looking. Like all the old school Disney movies was from the royalties perspective. Aladdin was from the street rats perspective.
The whole song is about how he's rich and beautiful and he has a ton of money and he's strong.
Yeah, but it was a lie.
Yeah, no, but my point is the whole point of the movie from Jasmine's perspective was, okay, why do we have to say women just have to the only value women have is being beautiful and all of that.
But Jasmine wasn't about that. Remember that none of that impressed her. Only when he started to really be himself and she figured him out that they started. Jasmine wasn't buying his bullshit from pretty much. She kind of did. I mean, it was a flying carpet. I mean, come on, man, it was a flying carpet.
Okay, what I'm saying is you couldn't write a song for a Disney princess where the whole song was about how she's beautiful and has a ton of money and would be useful to the prince she's trying to marry. You couldn't do that. Yeah. But you can do that with Aladdin.
Yeah, because but that was the point of the movie. I mean, he was trying to lie. He was trying to fake it till he became it. That was the point of the whole movie. It was a rags to riches story. It wasn't a royal. It wasn't from the perspective of a royal. It was from the perspective of
everybody always complains. Jasmine's life is so dark. Really? Jasmine had the best food in the kingdom, the best clothes in the kingdom. Jasmine is so rich, she had tiger money. You know how rich you have to be to have a pet tiger? She has a balcony on her bedroom. The only thing she's ever had to do was marry someone of her choice. She gets to pick the sultan for everyone in Agrabah.
But she did. But after a while,
Okay,
that
just a
choice
second.
was gonna.
Just-
If she didn't make a choice, that choice was gonna be taken away from her. She was gonna be
No,
forced.
just a second. Just a second. Absorb that for a second. The choice of who is going to rule the entire city for a generation, who's going to make decisions, war and peace and money decisions,
Yeah.
for the entire kingdom, for the next generation at least, is left in the hands of a 15-year-old girl. To her sole discretion.
Or technically
As
as ordered by the Sultan, her father. Because the options that were put in front of her were all was all agreed upon by her dad.
Right.
Her dad.
But here's the thing.
It wasn't just everybody just coming up there willy nilly. Her dad had to okay I'm sure if there was a kingdom that he didn't approve of, they wouldn't have been invited. Like if it was a kingdom that was at war with them, their prince wouldn't have been allowed to marry his daughter.
No. The only stipulation in the law is that he has to be a prince. That's all.
No, I remember that, but I mean, come on, man. We know that if there was a kingdom at war with another, unless they wanted peace. That if the Sultan didn't approve of the Sultan he was still the Sultan. So if a prince came in and was like, I know you and my father have beef, and if I became the king of Agrabah, I destroy the people, but I'm still a prince, so you gotta put me in consideration. Fuck no, the Sultan. Like the Sultan was still the Sultan. It's like nah, you're not on the list, buddy.
But they didn't make it. But here's the thing, they said that was a dark life. No, here's a dark life. Aladdin had no parents. His only friend was a monkey. He had to steal if he wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, every time he steals food, he's risking his life. Mm-hmm. They knew the song "One Jump Ahead." Oh, the little fun song at the beginning of the movie. They nearly killed him 15 times, and he gets to live in an abandoned building.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
You know how cold it gets in the desert at night?
Yeah, I lived in Iraq for 6 years.
Mm-hmm. You lived in Iraq for 6 years, and I was homeless for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was
out there during during our Operation Enduring Freedom. I was out there working with so I know what it's like out there.
I have to say thank you for your service at this point.
Well, no. But let me. That was a good chat. But I gotta. Let me finish off with the chat. Anything else we want to end it off with before we move on to the rest of the chats?
Let me just say this real quick. Hey, if you can become a member, sign up, follow everyone, go to the socials and everything. Support the channel.
Appreciate
a great
it,
program.
Outstanding, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. I see now, and these are the type of chats that I like. This is exactly like me and my friend Sean. What me and you just did is exactly what I do with all my friends. Where we go like we'll start off with the Matrix, and somehow we're on My Little Pony. It just goes.
Oh no, I do this all the time. I've had a 16.5 hour conversation that started off with Legos some type of way.
Uh-huh. And where did it end?
We went from Legos to President Obama, Skittles.
Dang.
Somehow we ended up halfway through why there are no black people on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. That's the kind of conversations that I'm having all the time with my friends too. But all right, man, I appreciate it, man.
I just thought there are the Jetsons. Not one black person in the future, really.
Yeah, I remember, who else said that about the future? That there was
one comedian said Elroy could have been Leroy.
Was it Carlos Mencia who said that there's no Hispanic people in the future on Star Trek? There was black people, white people, the Asian guy who was driving the ship, but there was no Hispanics in the future. But yeah. All right, man. Well, let me hurry and round it off with the rest of these chat, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time on the.
Have a nice evening.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
See you next Thursday.
See you next week, man. Hopefully everybody shows up next week.
That would be nice.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace. All right, that's channel member Peter. All right, let's see what we got here, and he's also he was lighting it up on the chat as well. Did I miss? Let me see if I've missed anything else. We were talking about Michael Birch's gal can sing. Imagine that. Let's see, Angelina Jolie. Were we talking about? Oh, was that was the queen from The Huntsman, right? Yeah, that's you were trying to remind us of that. Jesus goes, well, Snow White is not the fairest of them all. The mirror is lying to Gal Gadot. Maybe the question was, who's the most feminist of them all? I just don't like her attitude in the interviews. And that's the question. Will that hurt the box office? Peter Lang continuing on. Someone needs to make a movie where the princess is about to be eaten by a dragon and the prince gallows by just keeps going. He just says women don't need to be rescued by men when someone asks. You know what that reminds me of on TikTok when they show because men don't want to be accused of looking too hard. A woman would be like, "Oh no!" Or like, "Oh, I need help," and like none of the guys want to help get with even though she's struggling with the weight or something. Like, "Oh, I need she could be in dire need of assistance," but nobody wants to be accused of harassment. Peter Lang, also Snow White ordered men around. Yeah, you brought that up during our chat around the house and was respected as a girl and the princess. The prince doesn't even have a name. That's true. Yeah, no, Prince Valiant, right? Wasn't it? Was that? Or am I thinking about? Was that Prince Valiant? Or am I thinking about not Snow White, Sleeping Beauty? Jesus Gonzalez, justice for the little people. They need more movie roles. Yeah, Peter Dinklage, you do not speak. One thing I agree with my boy Hornswoggle is you do not speak for the whole community. And the way it came off was like he was pretty much throwing the rest of them, this community under the bus. If Lord of the Rings had dwarves and hobbits, this new movie can have them too. But like I was saying earlier, like it's easier for us who aren't dwarves to not be offended by it, because we don't have a history with it. And that was pretty all I was saying. And we have a super chat. And I appreciate you, Peter, for supporting the channel. Super chat with Peter Dinklage is wrong, and I'll explain why. And you did explain. You did explain why. Terrence Howard, yeah, there you go. Terrence Howard was who was also in The Butler. Yeah, he was in The Butler. Terrence Howard. If they could have brought Terrence Howard back as on Secret Invasions after they found out that Rhodey was a Skrull. They could have had Terrence Howard come in. Kick-Ass 2 was my favorite movie. I'm so mad at Jim for not promoting it. Still have a toy of him from it, but I wanted a third one, and because of him, we didn't get one. He turned on the movie. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I'm like, this was weird. Like, dude, you took the money, but you were like, yeah, I took the money. I did the character. I did the movie. I said the lines. I didn't agree to promote. Yeah, no, yes, you did. And I remember saying that. Yes, you did, Jim. When you took the role, you also took on the responsibility to promote it. That's also included in the contract. But at that point, Jim Carrey was so, high in his Hollywood status that, I mean, what could they do? He went on, I remember he went on promotions and he explained why he wasn't going to talk about the movie. But at the same time, he still mentioned the movie, even though he didn't, I think he technically fulfilled his contractual obligations by mentioning the movie, and he showed up to the interviews and stuff. But he was pretty much like, because he put them in a bind. What could they do? I'm against violence or whatever. And what was going to do? Sue him to be more violent in interview? He knew he had him. He knew he had him. And the check already cashed. He knew it. I was like, Jim, he got him. Yeah, that was messed up. But yeah, I agree. Peter Lang, I've heard over. I'll head over to Zoom. Okay, we already got that squared away. While the phone call sounds like God is talking. Peter Lang he was like, let me tell you what it is. Yeah. Like, what was that? Todd, this is God. let's see. Yeah, wow, it sounds like he said Peter sounded like God. The Matrix to My Little Pony. Gotta love epic tangents. That's from Huck Pop Culture Cafe. That's all we do. Like Peter knows what I'm talking about. Me and my boy Sean, we do it all the time. Dude, we'll be talking. We're about to go play Call of Duty in a minute right now, and we're probably gonna. Dude, my boy Sean always brings up RoboCop. It never fails. So yeah, that's all. That's what my whole life is about. But yeah, but that's it, man. I made it to that's all the chats, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna exit out of it right now. Thank you guys for keeping me company in the live chat. Appreciate you spending time with me and keeping it live, and my boy Peter Lane for keeping it live on the Zoom call. But yeah, we like I said, it doesn't matter if we don't always have to agree on every little thing, but I love having these the conversations, and what me and Peter and what a lot of people agree on is, here's the one thing we definitely agree on, is that he did not that Peter Dinklage should not have been acting like he spoke for the whole community. So everybody else in that community who's speaking up, saying no, I would accept that role, or I would, you gotta talk to more people than just the most popular one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I didn't agree with what I agreed with what Peter was trying to say, but not how it was a blanket statement that, and because he took his statement out there and it was received to be in Hollywood took it as a blanket statement for everybody, and maybe that's why Snow White the movie will or maybe it won't feature a little people. Maybe the script was already written like the way it is before Peter said what he said. I got to look into that, because if the script was already if it was already implied that it was going to be the way it is that we're going to receive it before Dinklage said what he said, or if that he had any type of influence on it, then I don't know. I don't know what the timeline of it is. So I'm gonna look into that. Maybe we'll find that out, or maybe that'll all be revealed later on. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys for spending the time with me tonight on the Rundown After Dark. It was good, fun. So I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday edition of the Rundown. I haven't decided yet whether or not it's going to be in the afternoon or not. So if it's not at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, it will be at 8 o'clock. For a Rundown After Dark type of episode. But yeah, that's it, guys. Till next time, appreciate you guys. If you want to follow me on all the socials, you can find me at Chris W. Fagan. And if you want to follow Joy, where can they find you online? Well, if I was still here, you'll be at Scrub Hats and More by Joy. That's Scrub Hats and More by Joy. Speaking of, because she's a nurse, she makes scrub hats for people in the medical field and whatnot, and because she has that outfit for work, I can request on my birthday that she wears that outfit for a specific reason. But we're not going to get into that. Until next time, guys. Have a good one. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, like, and comment your thoughts on this topic or any topics that you think that we should talk about in upcoming videos. Also, you can follow us at T3 Medias on Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and we also have a T3 Media Studios podcast where we post our movie reviews and episodes of The Rundown. Till next time, guys.